What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Venusy Wizard video. Today I'm going to be talking about something
This video
that I was
sucks.
thinking about earlier. We must be good members of the ecosystem. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that the human mind has gotten way too inflated. Humanity as a whole, as a collective conscious being, has gotten way too inflated. The ego is way too inflated, and we're almost acting like an invasive species. Now, if you haven't went outside and paid attention enough as a child at an early age, then you might be one of the people that do not know or aren't aware that the humanity as a whole, society, us as a species are interconnected with everything around us. And I'm not talking about the pizza shop. I'm not talking about the gas station. I'm talking about things that men haven't made. Things that are nature. And nature seems so small nowadays because men have trampled over it. You can't see the grass anymore because there's so much concrete. It's all greed. It's all human ego. Permaculture is the art of living in harmony with nature. Because we as a human race aren't separate from nature. We are not separate. If ants came up to us and said, "We are separate from nature," you would laugh at it in its face, and you'd probably step on it. And that's exactly what the planet is doing to us right now. There's a flood recently in Texas, wiped out a bunch of people. There's been some injuries and some floods, and it's unfortunate, but it's the consequences of our behavior as a whole, as a species. You got to remember that nature fixes itself, and nature has its children, and some children, if they don't cooperate with the siblings, or if they start doing bad things, start killing each other, they're going to eventually get wiped out. You see how that happened to the dinosaurs. They got wiped out by nature because they were getting too ferocious. Now, that's something I've heard, but it might be a stretch, but it's pretty self-explanatory with humanity right now. We've been contaminating the air with many, many pollutants, from fossil fuel to straight up other gases. And we've been cutting down many trees. It's very obvious. But we have been planting a lot of trees as well. You know, in this age we live in, there's a lot of people planting trees. There's a big figure called Sadhguru. He's planted a bunch of trees. Mr. Beast, he's planted a bunch of trees as well. And overall, people are waking up more to the fact that city life is not good. Because anything man-made is very, very susceptible to greed, which is the root of the lack of abundance and the need for surviving and not thriving. And there's two sides of the boat right now, two wings, one fighting for a change for not having greed, and there's another one fighting for change for keeping some greed. I think I might be totally off the charts right now, totally off track. Probably not even correct about this. I'm not really into politics, but I was just thinking about communism, how people argue that my views are communist, and I don't think they are. I personally just believe that we should be a little more less and a little more giving and abundant and thriving. And that can be achieved by studying permaculture. And harmony with nature could be simply going out to your yard, composting some leaves, some coffee grounds, and then putting some plant beds and growing your own food. Heck, you can even start putting and applying a rainwater catchment system. You can stop depending on the grid by utilizing solar energy. If you live by a creek, install a hydro-powered battery. There's plenty of ways, because the prices are getting higher and higher, because the desire is getting higher and higher. Not just one majority, but as a majority, things have to return back to normal. But that should only happen by looking at the man in the mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, look at the man in the mirror. And don't give in to the darkness. You have to know that the darkness is there, but don't give in.
Okay, we're back. Hello.
I had to export the audio because I was afraid that it was going to delete, because this happened once. I start recording again, when I pause it, and it just deletes and it starts recording a new one. But this wasn't happening. That's not what happened. We're back, and I was talking about nature. We are a member of the ecosystem. I don't know if I've stressed this enough. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is a very, very important topic to me, and it's part of my life's purpose, because I've been thinking about this since the longest time. And, you know, this is actually my passion here. I love talking about nature and embodying it as a human being. So, yeah, I just really wanted to make sure that I have to emphasize that. Visualize yourself as a squirrel. Or, yeah, let's just say squirrel. You're climbing around in trees and, you know, all of a sudden you hear a weird sound, like a little woo, woo. You're like, what the hell is that? You're just trying to chill, you know. You're born here in Earth, and this is your home. And you got a really loud roommate upstairs, or like next door, and he's fucking going crazy. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, BAM! The Kool-Aid Man bursts in through the fucking wall. And you're sitting here like, yo, I'm trying to just chill, eat my acorns in peace. Who are you? And then they're like, I'm humanity, bitch. I own this place. I bought this land. And now, I don't give a damn. I'm going to destroy and cut down your house. And I'm going to put a Walmart right here. Right here. I'm going to put a Walmart here, and everybody is going to come. And you watch your whole house you've lived in for so many years just be crumbled down into pieces, flattened out with concrete. And everything around you is dead. You want to know why it's dead? You see a bunch of crows all over the place on Walmart. So, bro, don't let yourself be the very rude roommate. Don't let yourself be the very bad neighbor. Jesus said, love your neighbor, and he's not talking just about humans. He's talking about being a good neighbor to the rest of the beings that are living. We're not even the... You have no idea how many other beings there are in nature. We're acting like we're the only beings just because we're in this hive mind mentality. You gotta get out of the hive and go see some flowers sometimes, you know? Know where your honey comes from. It doesn't come from the hive. It comes from the flowers. If there was no flowers, there'd be no honey. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I wonder what you guys thinking about this video. I've flowed enough, and I feel like I've reached my point. I really want to keep talking because I feel very expressive. I feel like expressing my thoughts right now, and I feel like people would enjoy that. So I'm going to share this. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below if you want to see more of me. I have a very beautiful dream where I'm going to move to Oregon and buy land. And in that land, I'm going to have a Zen garden where I'm going to be DJing and making beats like a wizard with my wizard cloak on. You're going to see me smoking on the pipe, growing herbs and flowers and vegetables and you name it. I'm going to have a beef farm. I'm going to have orchards. I'm going to have chickens. I'm going to have maybe a little cow. I'm going to have abundance thriving through the soil that I will buy with the land that I'm working for. Working very hard, working day and night. Well, most of the nights. I'm working day and night as a grocery clerk at a grocery supermarket and earning $15 an hour right now, but hopefully I get a raise or, switch to a different department or something. But, I'm saving up the bread so I can go over there and live abundantly. Live abundantly with solar panels, rainwater catchments, stove, composting, and methane digester for cooking, and much more. And I hope you stay tuned because I really want to make some inventions, maybe, if I have the chance. I might use some cool shit like a solar-powered hydro motor machine that attracts birds or something. I don't know. But I'm really going to try to merge technology with nature. And I feel like that'd be a very noble pursuit. Because you can charge a lot of things with solar. Imagine that as the source of energy that would assist with, there's those bird baths that are charged with solar and they start pumping out water. Imagine sprinklers made out of the sun, made out of the solar energy, coming from the creek, irrigating to all the crops. Just picture stuff like that, and I'm going to build it. I'm going to have to pass the time there. I'm not going to be sleeping, taking naps all day in my hammock. Although that's something I'm going to do a lot frequently. But I do want to have projects, keep myself moving, keep myself busy, keep myself mentally active, carving wood pipes, and, building up the brand, selling products, teaching courses perhaps. We're just chilling. And if I can afford it, I'll have a Starlink so I can have more connection. And yeah, that's all I got. That's all I pretty much have to say right now. I'm gonna have my dog there as well, a kitty cat maybe. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.